It seems as if we don't know where we are and who we are. Today, you are number 3 in this country, which means all of us are that number 3.
Did the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, just messed with the wrong person? Natasha Akpoti Udwang, the senator representing Kogi Central, has been in a rift between her and the Senate over the past 3 weeks. And guys, this matter is not ending soon because from what we've seen, Natasha is not somebody that is going to back down anytime soon. From what we've seen in the past stories, if you've been following all the story, you will know that Natasha Akpoti has been suspended from the Senate for 6 months, led by Godswill Akpabio. The same person she accused of sexual harassment was the same person that presided over his own matter. That is the height of injustice. A lot of Nigerians believe this. Why they felt they have silenced her, Natasha took it personal and transferred the whole issue to the United Nations. During a meeting, of course, if you follow that previous video, you'll see that Natasha narrated the injustice that was meted to her by Godswill Akpabio at the Senate House, which a lot of their Senate colleagues supported him. And it's widely believed that it's all because of the same reason, because most of them in the Senate House have the same interest, which is enriching themselves with Nigerian resources and taxpayers' money. So that aside, Natasha Akpoti is not backing down, and the fact remains that truth is beginning to come out because in the same Senate House, there are still a few people who have integrity and would not stop but say the truth, and this particular senator is one of them.
Mr. Senate President, my distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Ade Fadamsi from Osun East. My own is just bold talk as an elderly person. It seems as if we don't know where we are and who we are. Today, you are number 3 in this country, which means all of us are that number 3. It's a serious upper layer of the whole nation, 109 out of 250 million people. So it carries what we call integrity. And for the past 2 weeks, the integrity has gone down just because of mere trivial matter of allocating seat and so on. We don't want to know what is undercurrent. God's so kind. Those people who push you to assist, they have confessed. And I have prayed for him that may God forgive him and Jubril for pushing you to have mercy on who. God even said, I will have mercy on who I will have mercy on. Not everybody. And it has even taught you a lesson. You have to look at the whole issue critically before you even act. Today, everywhere, including Berekete Radio, calling number 3 to come and explain things. Just a radio that we licensed. It's an insult. My own now is how to bring this integrity back. Once a damage is done, to bring it back, it's a long story. All of us must have to work hard. Within this period, we have to bring it back. As per the punishments attached, if I saw one of our leaders today sweating before channel, I said, issue of what? There's no other paper that. My own is that, how do we bring the integrity back? Because we are in a serious situation of tax law, where we are going to make tax law to benefit common people. How do they believe us? Fighting on seat? No. Mr. Senate President and the leadership, we have to call a spade a spade. We have a Bible here, And this is the first one to be given to us, followed by Nigerian Constitution. And we have a lot of lawyers here. Please, let us do our work seriously. And after that, we can be friends. It has shown you now that there is no friend. You don't have any friend, though. So, today, tomorrow, we don't know what will happen. The only friend to you is your wife and your children and God. We are praying for you, you will succeed, but let us face what we are here for. And that's my own. As regards the punishment, well, if it is the 6 months we are talking, if you are going to have mercy 3 months as prescribed by our minority leader, how well and good a punishment is a punishment. Today, we don't even know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe the whole Federal High Court in Lagos and Abuja will be bombarded again. Let us do our work. Thank you very much.
When a lot of people watch this senator speak, a lot of people say that, of course, posterity will not judge this man. Posterity will be kind to him because in over 100 senators in the Senate House, he was the only person who could stood up and tell the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, the truth to his face. All full-grown men were just there, supporting what they don't even know, supporting what they are not even sure of. But this particular man stood up to say his own truth and let posterity judge him right. Posterity would definitely be kind to him. These are reactions from Nigerians. Let us know what you think in the comments below. After the whole thing, Nigerians were so embarrassed and disgraced after women were also used to talk against Natasha Akpoti following a response from the United Nations, who is giving Akpabio a fair hearing.
That said, colleagues, there was a matter before I close the meeting. There was a matter that arose during the first session, which we had this morning. The matter that was raised by our colleague from Nigeria, Senator Natasha, and because all of us heard what she said, and it only serves us better if I put a word in what she has said. So I would like to say we have heard her concerns, and having heard her, it would have been an opportunity for all of us to understand more about what she has said. But because we listened only on her side, as an institution, as IPU, we will be taking the concerns that have been raised, not only taking her side, but also giving a chance to listen to the other side, as it is a custom for IPU. And after having listened to the other side, we will take steps as necessary. So I thought it was necessary for us to say a word about it and then be able to take it further. Excuse me? I'm still getting there. Thank you. So I thought I should let you members, before we think because she said something different from what the contributions were. So we have taken care of, we have taken the concerns that she raised, and we will be working on them, of course, having listened to the other side, and we will be able to take steps after that. I also recognize the fact that our Nigerian delegate who is here had requested the floor, Honorable Kafilat, but because of time, she wasn't given a chance to speak. But, like I said, we have heard the concerns that have been raised by Senator Natasha, but at the same time, we have taken cognizance of the fact that you would have wished to address us, but time wasn't enough to give you a chance to do that. And that said, IPU will be taking this matter as we usually do when such concerns are raised in meetings like this. So I thought members shouldn't go back home and feel like, yeah, Senator Natasha raised an...
Have been mandated by the Nigerian National Assembly to present a response to Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan's speech delivered yesterday at the 69th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. In response to the call by the President of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU Right Honorable Tulia Axen, to hear both sides of the matter. I have received a letter from the Nigerian Senate in my capacity as the chairman of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development of our Parliament in Nigeria, and the parliamentarian representing Nigeria at this conference. In the spirit of transparency and fairness, I now wish to read this letter from the Senate in its entirety, and it is crucial that all perspectives are heard and that all aspects of the situation are duly considered. And the next voice you'll be hearing from here will be the voice of the Senate leader of the Senate, Senator Akpabio Bamidele, CON, the leader of the Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan was suspended for gross misconduct and unruly behavior, and not as a result of allegation of sexual harassment or assault. The authority of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria firmly rebukes the deliberate misinformation and false narratives being circulated by certain media organizations regarding the six-month suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Let it be unequivocally stated that Senator Uduaghan was suspended solely for a persistent act of misconduct, blatant disregard for the provisions of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended, and gross indiscipline, nothing more, nothing less. This is still the voice of the leader of the Senate. It has come to the attention of the Senate that some media reports are attempting to falsely suggest that Senator Uduaghan's suspension was due to allegations of sexual harassment. This is completely untrue, misleading, and a calculated attempt to distort the facts. If Senator Uduaghan had strictly followed our guiding principles, the Senate would have treated her petition based on merit in line with its practice, but she never obeyed the established practices of the institution where she was serving. The facts of the suspension. This is still the voice of the Senate leader. Senator Uduaghan's suspension was a decision of the Committee of the Whole Senate, following the submission of a report by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges. The report found her guilty of violating sections 6.1 and 6.2 of the Senate rules and recommended her immediate suspension. The disciplinary action was a response to her repeated violations of legislative decorum, including 1. Refusing to sit in her assigned seat during plenary on the 25th February 2025, despite multiple pleas from the leadership and other ranking senators, an act of open defiance and disorderly conduct. 2. Speaking without being recognized by the presiding officer in clear violation of parliamentary practices and procedures on the 25th February 2025. 3. Engaging in unruly and disruptive behavior, obstructing the orderly conduct of Senate proceedings. 4. Making abusive and disrespectful remarks against the leadership of the Senate. 5. Defying and refusing to comply with the summons of the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges mandated to investigate cases of misconduct. These actions represented a direct challenge to the authority of the Senate and a violation of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended, that govern the business of the Senate and the conduct of its members. The disciplinary measure was therefore necessary and justified to restore order and uphold the integrity of the Senate of the country's foremost democratic institution. This is still the voice of the leader of the Senate. On the petition and allegations, contrary to the false claims being circulated, Senator Uduaghan was not suspended for making any sexual harassment or for submitting a petition. Her petition was rightfully discountenanced because it failed to meet the clear and established procedural requirements for submitting petitions to the Senate. The rules of the Senate apply to all members without exception, and no petition, regardless of its subject, can be considered if it does not follow due process. To suggest that a suspension was linked to a petition is not only a distortion of facts, but an intentional and malicious attempt to mislead the public. This is still the voice of the leader of the Senate. Condemnation of misleading media reports. The Senate strongly condemns the irresponsible and unethical reporting by some media organizations that have deliberately twisted the facts to suit a false narrative. This coordinated misinformation campaign is nothing more than an attempt to politicize a disciplinary action that was strictly based on clear violations of Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended. It is reckless, misleading, and a disservice to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the whole world who deserve truthful and factual reporting. We therefore urge all foreign correspondents and responsible media houses to correct these misrepresentations and avoid propagating falsehoods that undermine the integrity of Nigeria's legislative process. This is still the voice of the leader of the Senate. Conclusion. The Senate remains committed to upholding discipline, order, and parliamentary ethics. No senator, I repeat, no senator, regardless of status, gender, or political affiliation, is above the rules of the Senate. Senator Uduaghan's suspension was a direct consequence of her actions and nothing else. We urge the public and the media to disregard any false reports suggesting otherwise and to always seek the truth before spreading politically motivated narratives. Signed, Senator Bamidele Okpeyemi, CON, Leader of the Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
You know, I think we can all agree that Nigerians are not very serious people. This is what the political class understands, and that's why they can do anything and get away with it, because they know and understand that Nigerians are not very serious people. You guys don't understand the gravity of what just happened. If Senator Natasha is lying, do you understand the gravity of that? Simply means women can wake up and accuse anybody of sexual harassment, accuse any man of rape, and get away with it. It also means that men can rape, sexually harass women, and absolutely nothing will be done. That's how bad the situation is. And yet, people are just there dancing around the whole issue. This is exactly the time where we have to take the bull by its horn. Do you know what this year's International Women's Day theme is? March forward for all women and girls. Why are Nigerian women not marching? Why are we all not marching? Those so-called confused individuals that call themselves Nigerian feminists, their voices is nowhere to be heard. Bunch of jokers. If it's to defend sex workers parading themselves as influencers, which I have no problem with, your titties will stand. On our titties will stand. Your voices will be heard. We will hear from you people. We go hear from Ona. We go hear Ona. You will be as loud as fuck. You're only a feminist when it benefits you. Both women and men are supposed to be at the Senate complex asking questions. To the extent that the president feels this. Do y'all understand we have 109 senators in Nigeria, and out of 109, only 4. 105 is all men. Women are not properly represented across board. We have never had a female governor. This is how disenfranchised women are. Women are always given the backseat. This is a woman that more than 100,000 people gave their votes to, gave their voices to, for her to speak on their behalf. And she's facing 6 months suspension? Oh my God, no. When 1 out of 4 female senators is making an allegation like this, it should not be swept under the carpet and it should not be treated lightly at all, because we should see this as women being silenced. And if she is telling a lie, she should be dealt with and dealt with properly. The number 3 citizen of Nigeria is being dragged for something that could be a lie or could be true. This needs to be cleared. It's too important of a man for a story like this to pop up and we don't get to the end of it. And if she isn't telling a lie, whoever she's accusing should be dealt with and dealt with properly. Nigerians, I don't know what is really wrong with us people. Where did we get it wrong in this 2025? Where? If a woman of that level is struggling to get justice, struggling to be heard, then who am I? What is the fate of that average 18 years old girl in Ibadan? Of that average 18 years old girl in Delta State? Of that average 26 years old girl in Sokoto? This is how we plan to stand for women. This is how we plan to do it in 2025? Nah, disappointing to say the least.
Also important for the public to know that whatever decision we arrive at here is unanimous. And I recall the last decision we took, and which concerned one of our sisters here, the senior Senator Natasha Akpoti. I'm also aware that when she left the chambers, she went to Brekete Radio, and she went to Arise Television, and she distorted the facts. I'm aware further that she has now externalized the matter by attempting to embarrass the Federal Republic of Nigeria by going to give a narrative at the IPU UN event, totally different from what occurred in the Senate. But I want to thank our Right Honorable Member Kafilat, right? That's her name. Kafilat Okwara, who had to give a press conference in New York to caution the international press not to vilify Nigeria, but to note that the facts presented by her were totally out of tune with what occurred in the Nigerian parliament, and that we have our own internal mechanisms of resolving issues in Nigeria. And outside this parliament, we also have the judiciary, which is even standing before the judiciary. So I don't know why even here, she has brought a petition, and she has not allowed us to even look into it. She went to court, and then she has not allowed the court to look into it. She has gone to the international community, and she may not even allow the international community to look into it. She may decide to run to I don't know where. I don't want to be misquoted, but the reality is that we remain resolute. We are law-abiding. We operate through the rules of the Senate, which is an extension of the powers and privileges given to us by the ground norm, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.